Archangel Michael says the sky split open for a moment, and in that bright wound he saw the face of the one who cursed you. He says the curse was not a word but a thread, a thin black line tied around your name and pulled tight in secret. He says it can be cut, but not without you. He tells you this night carries a clock hidden inside its lungs. Every breath you take is 1 second the darkness cannot keep. When you read these lines, the thread starts to tremble. He calls your name like thunder calling the mountain to wake. He says your destiny is not asleep, it is pinned, quietly, by a hand that refuses to be seen. He has seen that hand, and he is roaring because the hand is moving again. He tells you to listen with your skin, with your bones, with the quiet behind your ribs. The one who cursed you believes silence is a shield. Your listening will crack that shield like glass. He says the curse is built from 3 things: envy, stale promises, and a shadow borrowed from your past. It is not a fortress, it is a tent held up by thin stakes. One good wind from your spirit can pull it down. He saw the path the enemy took, a narrow trail of small cruelties and careful lies. Each lie was stitched into a garment and placed over your name. You were meant to wear a cloak of light, and they tried to change your size. He says this message is a blade of mercy. He presses it into your palm, warm from the fire he carries. Use it with care, and it will not cut you, only the thread that binds you. He says there are exactly 20 seconds that matter now. 20 seconds to answer, to step forward, to let him hear your yes through the noise. 20 seconds to turn your face toward the wind that is coming. He tells you to stand where you are, even if that place is messy, loud, or quiet like a held breath. You don't need a temple, you are the temple. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be present. He says the curse feeds on neglect. It eats the moments you delay and drinks the doubts you repeat. Tonight, it starves. He asks you to lift your right hand as if you were taking back your name from a high shelf. Feel your hand grow heavier because it is holding truth now. Your name returns to your body like a bird that recognizes home. He says speak your name softly, then firmly, then with the authority that was always yours. Your name is not an apology, it is a key. Turn it until you hear the click that the darkness hoped you would never hear. He tells you the curse tried to live inside mirrors and old conversations. It replayed the worst hour as if it were the only hour. It hid in your calendar, labeling the future with yesterday's ink. He says enough. He says the future is not a photocopy, it is a flood of firsts. New sunlight is crowding at the window, asking politely if you will open it. He saw the one who cursed you practicing the old habit of pretending to care. They smiled with their teeth and not their heart. Each smile bent the thread tighter. He says your kindness is not a weakness, it is a hammer wrapped in velvet. When you remember that, the stage shakes under their feet. Their rehearsed lines begin to crumble. He tells you the night has a gate and you are already standing in it. Don't look back for permission, the permission is in your pulse. The gate opens when you do. He says breathe once for the child you were who believed everyone meant well. Breathe twice for the person you are who now knows how to see. Breathe a third time for the future self who is thanking you from the other side of this paragraph. He says let the body speak. Let your shoulders drop the weight they were never meant to carry. Let your jaw unclench the sentence it has been holding for years. He has placed a map into your memory. It is simple: 4 turns, 1 straight road, and a bright door. The door is yours because it has been waiting with your laugh carved into the wood. He says the first turn is recognition. You recognize what was done and you refuse to give it a room. You can acknowledge a storm without inviting it to live in your house. The second turn is separation. You separate what belongs to you from what was thrown at you. Dirt thrown at gold does not become gold, it simply falls off when you move. The third turn is release. You release the need to explain your light to those who prefer shadows. If they cannot see, do not dim, step into a brighter room. The fourth turn is return. You return to yourself like a traveler who finally knows the way. Returning is not retreating, it is advancement in the correct direction. He says the straight road is obedience to your own calling. Not to fear, not to gossip, not to the echo of old guilt. Answer the sound that lifts you. He says place your left hand over your heart and count slowly to 20. With each number, picture a black knot loosening. When you reach 20, imagine it dropping from you like a stone into clear water. He whispers that the one who cursed you keeps records in brittle notebooks. Those pages are afraid of fire. Your decision is the match. He says you will feel a small shiver as your spirit widens. That is your space returning to you. That is the room that was illegally occupied becoming yours again. He tells you to gather your scattered pieces. Call back your focus from yesterday's argument. Call back your courage from the doors you never tried. He says take 3 steps forward, even if they are inside your mind. Step 1, I am not what they said. Step 2, I am not what they took. Step 3, I am what I choose now. He says the curse was never as strong as your agreement. Without your agreement, the rope is just air. Without your agreement, the cage is just a shape. He speaks your victories before you live them. He names the job that will find you, the home that will feel like a true address, the conversation that will clean your eyes. He stamps tomorrow with his seal. He says the enemy hoped you would keep quiet. You will not. Your voice is a bell and tonight it rings. He tells you to write 1 sentence somewhere you can see it when morning comes. Write it plainly, without decoration, like a truth that doesn't need makeup. Let the sentence be the way your day recognizes you. He says choose a word to carry for the next 7 days. Let it be rise, or clear, or shield. Let it be a pocket-sized horizon you can unfold when you forget how big you are. He says the one who cursed you will feel their own thread tug back toward them. That is how balance behaves when it is finally allowed to work. You do not need to watch, you only need to walk. He tells you your memory is allowed to heal. The scene will still exist, but it will lose its teeth. You will be able to hold it without being bitten. He says regret is a room with mirrors, you could live there forever and see nothing new. Step outside and the air will look like forgiveness wearing sunlight. You will remember you are allowed to leave. He saw you standing at a small window, thinking you had missed your time. The clock was lying. The time was waiting for you to call it by its real name. He says call it now. Call it here. Call it mine. He tells you the curse cannot cross clean boundaries. Name the 3 boundaries that keep you whole: your time, your attention, your peace. Guard them with a gentle face and an iron spine. He says darkness loves chaos because chaos makes good camouflage. Order is light made practical. When you put things in their place, even your heart finds its chair again. He saw the one who cursed you rehearsing a story where they always win. They are not the author. You hold the pen with your next decision. He says lift your head. There is a crown hovering just above you, patient as a sunrise. It lowers when you agree to stand tall enough to meet it. He tells you to forgive your earlier self for not knowing this sooner. Forgiveness is not re-entry for the wrongdoer, it is the release of your ankle from yesterday's chain. You move cleanly when you forgive. He says gratitude is a sword that sings when it's drawn. List 3 small things you can be grateful for right now: a steady breath, a steady floor, a steady beat in your chest. The sword is already humming. He says do not chase rumor, it is a road that returns you to the same room. Chase purpose, it is a road that returns you to the right room. Purpose always has clean hands. He saw your tomorrow changing shape when you believed him for even a moment. Faith is a door that opens in both directions. When you open it, help walks in while fear walks out. He says if you must cry, let it be a washing, not a drowning. Tears can be a river that carries old bark away. When it is done, your shoreline is new. He tells you to picture your future self walking toward you. Notice the eyes, clear. Notice the hands, free. Notice the smile, unafraid. He says that future self is sending you something small and bright. It lands in your palm and opens like a tiny lantern. Inside is the simplest instruction you will ever receive: continue. He says the curse ate from your schedule, your sleep, your attention. It will not dine here again. The table has been reset with strength and clarity. He saw the one who cursed you believing in shortcuts. Your path will not need shortcuts because it is blessed in the open. You will move in the daylight without stumbling. He says your friends will notice. One will ask what changed, and you will feel a smile steer your face. Say, I return to myself, and keep moving. He tells you the fear of success is a trick the enemy plays when failure stops working. Let success be a room with windows. Open them and let the air in. He says comparison is a fog machine that never sleeps. Turn it off. See the shape of your own road again. He says your work is holy when you do it with clean hands. Clean hands are not perfect hands, they are honest hands. Put them to the task that is yours, and they will shine. He saw a door with your initials carved in the hinge. Someone tried to paint over them, but the letters bled through. Paint cannot hide engraving. He says the next choice you make is a seed. Plant it where you want to harvest, not where you are told to perform. Performance exhausts, planting multiplies. He tells you to practice small courage today. Make the call. Send the line. Step into the room. He says your body is listening. Feed it good words and steady food. Let it rest without apology. He says your mind is a garden. Pull 3 weeds of old phrases that do not serve you. Plant 3 statements that do. He tells you to move your shoulders as if setting down a heavy bag. You will feel the floor say thank you. You will hear your breath say more. He says write 1 letter to the version of you who survived the worst hour. Keep it short. Keep it kind. He saw you outliving the rumor. He saw you outrunning the doubt. He saw you outshining the plan made in secret places. He says the one who cursed you borrowed courage from your silence. You are not silent now. Their courage goes back to 0. He tells you to make an altar from ordinary things, a clean desk, a made bed, a glass of water. This is where you begin again each day. This is how you meet your life on purpose. He says the next morning will arrive like a witness. Let it find you standing. Let it find you ready. He says if you hear the old voice trying to negotiate, do not enter the meeting. You do not owe attendance to your former chains. Decline and proceed. He tells you that help will look ordinary at first. A message, a name, a small appointment. Say yes to the small, it is the disguise of great doors. He says trust yourself to notice alignment. If it strengthens you, it is likely yours. If it shrinks you, it is likely not. He says speak kindly to the room before you leave it. The room will remember. The room will be easier when you return. He tells you to bless your tools, your phone, your pen, your voice. Good tools love clean intention. Clean intention attracts clear outcomes. He says one day soon you will tell this story and your voice will not shake. You will not glamorize the darkness or minimize the light. You will tell it like weather that passed. He saw a new door open and you did not flinch. You stepped through as if you had always belonged there. That is because you always did. He says the last thing to release is the habit of bracing for impact. Ease your shoulders. Expect alignment. He tells you to mark this night. Even if you are reading in daylight, mark this moment. This is when the thread unraveled. He says you are not late. You are right on the threshold. He is roaring not to frighten you, but to let the enemy know you are not alone. He tells you to place both feet on the ground and feel the earth answer. You are connected to more than you can name. You are supported by more than you can count. He says let your yes be quiet and complete. Let it be a door closing on an old house. Let it be a door opening on a new home. He saw you celebrate without apology. He saw you work without permission. He saw you rest without guilt. He says you will receive a sign in a simple detail, a word on a wall, a number on a receipt, a song in a doorway. When you notice it, nod once and keep going. You will not need to announce it to anyone. He tells you the one who cursed you will look smaller from far away. Keep your distance. Let the horizon take them. He says you owe them nothing, not a performance, not a debate, not a second chance at your peace. What you owe is to your calling. Pay it in full with your daily steps. He says abundance likes clear containers. Clear your commitments of what is not true anymore. Make room for the new appointment with your life. He tells you to remember what you love to do when no one is watching. Do that a little every day. Watch how your life starts to glow from the inside. He says patience is not waiting in chains, it is waiting with tools in your hands. Build while you wait. The door will open on workers, not spectators. He saw your name written across a calendar with joy. He saw the trip, the contract, the meeting that mattered. He saw your posture in those rooms, steady and warm. He says your boundaries will invite the right company. Those who cannot respect them will excuse themselves. You won't need to argue, the door will do the talking. He tells you your laughter is returning, not as a defense, but as a melody. It will fill corners where echoes used to live. It will be a lighthouse for people who have been looking for you. He says your wisdom is kinder now and sharper too. You know what to keep, what to release, what to repair. You choose from wholeness, not hunger. He saw you finishing what you start. He saw you starting what you dream. He saw the two finally meeting in the middle. He says consider this message a contract signed by fire. The terms are simple, you agree to rise, the heavens agree to clear a path. It is already happening. He tells you to take one last look at the thread that held you. See how thin it really was. See how foolish it looks in the light. He says step forward now. The threshold warms under your feet because it knows your name. You move and the air applauds. He says this is where the regret ends and the building begins. You will be surprised by how quickly foundations appear when your yes is honest. The right walls rise like they've been waiting for your hands. He tells you your story is not about the one who cursed you. Your story is about the one who rose anyway. You are the one. He says he is done screaming now because you heard him. The roar becomes a song, and the song becomes a road. Walk it with your head high. He tells you his last instruction is the simplest, keep choosing the light, especially when no one is keeping score. That is how you become unstoppable. That is how curses fall into history. He says close your eyes for 20 seconds and feel the future answer back. Feel it step into your bones and arrange the room inside you. When you open your eyes, walk as if the promise already lives in your stride. He says the work is blessed. The door is open. The road is yours. He tells you the one who cursed you is now behind a veil they cannot lift. That is not your concern. Your concern is to continue. He says drink some water, breathe fresh air, and choose one small brave action before the day is over. Small bravery compounds into unbreakable strength. Watch how quickly the world begins to match your decision. He says you are protected, provided for, and positioned. Stand in it. Move in it. He tells you to carry this message like a quiet flame cupped in your hands. You don't need to wave it wildly, you only need to keep it alive. It will light every next step. He says the heavens have recorded your yes. The timestamp is now. The answer is in motion. He says you may rest without fear. When you wake, the path will still be there. So will he, not screaming anymore, just smiling like a warrior satisfied that the battle turned. He tells you to end this reading with calm. Place your palm on your heart and let it know the burden left. Let your heart answer with steadiness. He says welcome home. Welcome forward. Welcome to the life the curse could not steal. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says the next wave arrives like a drumbeat under your feet. He tells you to stand still for a breath and feel the rhythm rising from the ground into your spine. That rhythm is your permission to continue. He says continuation is not an afterthought, it is the second blade of the scissors. You cut the thread on one side, and now you cut it on the other. When both blades move, the bond has nowhere to hide. He tells you the room around you is willing to help. Clear one surface and make it an altar of intention, a table, a shelf, even a folded cloth on the floor. Place one object that represents your yes. He says choose the object with care. It can be a stone from a walk, a key from a door you love, a page you wrote in your own hand. The only rule is that it must belong to you completely. He says speak 3 statements over that object. I keep my peace. I keep my focus. I keep my future. Your voice seals them like wax. He tells you the one who cursed you fed on cluttered energy. The cleaner your space, the fewer shadows to hide in. Order is a lamp that stays on when you leave the room. He says the body learns safety through repetition. Pick one small action and repeat it daily for 7 days, stretch, sip water, write 3 lines. Make it simple enough that resistance has nothing to grab. He tells you to keep a short list called proof of return. Each night, write one thing you reclaimed. A decision, a boundary, a bright minute. Your mind will begin to trust your momentum. He says the next instruction is made of movement. Walk a slow circle clockwise where you are, even if it is only in your imagination. With each step, picture a ring of clean fire forming at your feet. He tells you that ring is not for punishment, it is for definition. Nothing false can cross a clear line without telling on itself. Lines make truth visible. He says memory will try to bargain for attention. Give it a chair beside the door and a notebook. Tell memory to write while you live. He tells you to loosen your hands. You do not need to clutch your future, it is attached to you. Open palms receive better than closed fists. He says the heartbeat of courage is quiet. It does not shout, it insists. Let it insist inside you until the old panic realizes it has no job left. He tells you to turn your head slightly to notice the path of coincidence. That path has been crossing in front of you all day. Light stands in ordinary clothes. He says you may feel a strange calm where fear used to sit. Do not mistrust it. That calm is the room your power prefers. He tells you to write a quick letter with 3 parts, past me, present me, future me. Past me gets gratitude for surviving, present me gets clear instructions, future me gets a promise to continue. Fold the page and place it under your chosen object. He says the one who cursed you is trying to find the thread they lost. There is only air where it used to be. They will grab at nothing until they tire. He tells you you're not responsible for their confusion. You are responsible for your alignment. Alignment is how your steps find the correct ground. He says to schedule 10 minutes tomorrow to meet yourself on purpose. Put it where you cannot ignore it. Keep the appointment like you would with a door that leads to the roof. He tells you to name the roof. Call it Clear View. The name alone will help you climb. He says you will notice small confirmations. A call you needed arrives, a delay breaks open, a word lands twice in one day. Accept them without theatrics, they are simply the world obeying your decision. He tells you to protect the next hour from gossip. Gossip is a net that only catches the feet of those who walk into it. Stay on your road and the net cannot reach. He says make a brief map for the next 3 moves, declutter one corner. Send one message. Begin one page. Put a check beside each before you sleep. He tells you to let rest be strategic. Rest is not retreat, it is refuel. Defense without refuel is decoration. He says your determination is a forge. Put the old metal of doubt into it and watch it glow. Hammer it into a key you can keep in your pocket. He tells you that key opens doors that do not swing for panic. Panic slams, purpose turns the handle. Turn it now, calmly and fully. He says a new language is arriving in your mouth. It avoids phrases that shrink you. It chooses phrases that fit your true size. He tells you to rehearse one boundary line in private. Speak it once with firmness, once with kindness, once with finality. Your voice will remember the shape when the moment comes. He says the cursor mistook patience for permission. You are done granting them a seat at decisions that belong to you. Chairs are for contributors, spectators stand outside the line. He tells you the next chapter is written in clean ink. You will not copy old paragraphs into it. You will reference only what strengthens you. He says consider your name a password that only answers to you now. When others tried to type it, the future did not unlock. When you type it, the screen brightens. He tells you to reclaim your mornings. The first 10 minutes are a crown, wear them straight. Begin with something you can keep, quiet steps, clear water, true words. He says the world will try to sell you urgency that isn't yours. Return it unopened. Real urgency feels like alignment, not alarm. He tells you to feel the ground under your arches. Stability rises through the bones when you notice it. Your balance thanks you in fluent silence. He says your gifts are not loud, but they are precise. Precision is a lamp that wastes no oil. Use what you have exactly where it matters. He tells you the misunderstanding about you is dissolving. People will edit their stories without admitting they were wrong. Let the edit stand, you have places to be. He says the door that suits you does not squeak, it swings clean. If you meet a door that howls, it's not yours. Keep walking until the hinges sound like welcome. He tells you that clarity is contagious to those who are ready. You will become a lighthouse without trying. The right ships will aim for you. He says practice a simple sentence that ends arguments, that's not mine. Use it when old blame knocks. Use it when borrowed fear calls your phone. He tells you to water your focus like a plant. Not too much, not too little, just consistent care. Watch how it leans toward useful light. He says your future self is clapping softly, not to startle you, but to keep you in tempo. You are walking to a rhythm that matches your original design. Keep that beat even when the room is noisy. He tells you to collect small wins like coins. The jar will grow heavy faster than you think. Wait is proof. He says the cursor's habit was hope in your hesitation. You changed the habit. Their hope has no shelf to sit on. He tells you to reroute the energy that used to maintain worry. Put it into craft, study, movement, kindness. These are roads with returns. He says your intuition has a new clarity at the edges. It will tingle when a room is wrong and hum when a room is right. Believe the tingle, follow the hum. He tells you to use your name as a signature under today's choices. Signed choices carry better through storms. Unsigned choices blow away. He says your timing will feel supernatural and practical at once. That is the proof of partnership. Heaven likes working with people who show up. He tells you to stop apologizing for how much light you bring. Light is not rude when it reveals, it is honest. Let it show what needs to be seen. He says repetition is the staircase. One clean step repeated out builds a leap attempted once. Choose steps that you can love. He tells you the enemy planned for a sprint, not a marathon. You are built for the long road. Endurance is elegance stretched over time. He says wear your boundaries like a well-cut coat. They fit you, they flatter you, they keep you warm. People with umbrellas don't resent the rain. He tells you to give your creativity a small assignment with a real finish line. Done is a doorway to bigger puzzles. Finish something beautiful and simple this week. He says you will notice fewer collisions with old patterns. That is not luck, that is design. You drew new lines and the world adjusted. He tells you to smile without explanation. Joy is efficiency of the heart. It saves fuel for the next good climb. He says continue to live like someone who has nothing to hide from the morning. Mornings respect people who respect themselves. The light will meet you early. He tells you to keep your circle tidy. Fewer people, deeper trust, clearer outcomes. The rest can watch from the bleachers. He says the cursor has already started forgetting the script. Without your attention to feed it, the plot disintegrates. Dust returns to dust. He tells you to write 3 do not open labels for mental boxes: old shame, borrowed panic, second guessing. When they arrive, file them sealed. Your focus is the clerk, do not accept packages you did not request. He says place your attention on the new work rising. Craft rises when called consistently. Call it the same way you'd call a friend you love. He tells you to forgive your pace for not being someone else's pace. Your road is measured for your stride. That is why it feels right when you are honest. He says honesty is an armor nobody can pry apart. Wear it close to the skin and nothing false will fit. Lies slide off like rain. He tells you to establish a no-drama window in each day. In that window, you care for tasks that grow your life. Drama cannot find you when you are busy planting. He says you are safer than you feel and stronger than you know. The proof will keep appearing in manageable portions. Trust the portions, they were measured for you. He tells you to keep a soft face and a hard will. Softness keeps you human, hardness keeps you moving. Together they look like grace with a backbone. He says the world will soon echo something you already decided in private. That echo is confirmation, not permission. You do not need permission anymore. He tells you the scent of newness is in the room now. Breathe it like clean weather after a long storm. Your lungs remember what to do. He says the next door opens on your name spoken correctly. Pronounce yourself without shrinking or swelling. True size stays. He tells you you will meet allies who were invisible under the old shadow. They will step forward like friends who knew the address all along. Shake their hands and keep building. He says your calendar is a garden bed. Plant appointments that feed your calling and pull whatever tries to choke them. You are the gardener, the garden responds. He tells you to practice being unhurried inside while moving quickly outside. That combination makes you magnetic. People will feel steadiness in your pace. He says the cursor will try one last performance, a theater made of sighs and sad eyes. That show has no audience in your house anymore. Lights off, curtain down, exit door. He tells you to bless your thresholds, doorways, gates, inboxes. They decide what enters. Put your hand on them and select wisely. He says there is a rhythm to successful days: begin clean, aim true, finish kind. Repeat until it feels like muscle memory. It will become your default. He tells you your reflection is catching up to who you've become. Mirrors show what choices decide. The look in your eyes is already different. He says the small anxieties that once swarmed you are confused now. They do not recognize the new air. They will drift away like mist that lost its sun. He tells you to remain generous, but only from overflow. Scarcity generosity breeds resentment, overflow generosity multiplies. Fill first, pour second. He says your story is stretching into a wider format. You will need a bigger frame to hang it. Expansion is not arrogance, it is accuracy. He tells you to keep this message within reach for a while. Some sentences will be daily bread, some will be once-a-week medicine. Dose yourself with wisdom on schedule. He says walk to the window and look out, even if the view is simple. The world outside your head resets perspective. Your shoulders will thank you. He tells you to anchor your nights with a short ritual. Turn off one light, put away one device, speak one truth. Anchors hold ships against false tides. He says the day you feared has become the day you manage. Management is mastery in daily clothes. Wear it like it was tailored for you. He tells you the road beyond this paragraph is ready. Your feet already know how to meet it. Step once, then again, then again. He says he will keep pace without crowding you. A guardian respects room. When you need a roar, he will roar. When you need quiet, he will guard the silence. He tells you the chapter break is here, not as an ending, but as a marker. You crossed a line most people never find. Keep going with the same clean yes. He says your continuation is the truest apology you will never need to make to your earlier self. You're doing it right now. Keep choosing, keep clearing, keep carrying the light that refuses to dim. He tells you this: the curse is a rumor with no breath left. Your life is the fact with lungs. Breathe and proceed. Archangel Michael says the horizon just took a deep breath and widened for you. He tells you to notice how the air feels sturdier when you stand in your decision. That sturdiness is not a dream, it is the world cooperating with your yes. He says continuation is a craft, not a mood. You practice it the way a musician practices scales, small, steady, precise. Practice turns courage into muscle. He tells you to choose one doorway in your home and claim it as your gate of return. Each time you pass through, whisper your name in full. Names gather strength when called correctly. He says pour a glass of water and hold it for 10 seconds. Let your breath settle into it like a promise. Drink and imagine clarity washing the last ash of doubt from your ribs. He tells you to place your phone face down for 20 minutes. Peace multiplies when interruption loses its seat. Your focus is a room with a doorman now. He says you will feel a tug to revisit the old story. That is nostalgia for pain, it is not love. Thank it for the lesson and walk on. He tells you to give your mirror a new job. Instead of proof of flaws, let it be a witness of return. Say, I see the real me, and leave before the old commentary tries to bargain. He says your spine holds a key to confidence. Stand 2 inches taller than your habit. Watch how your future recognizes the posture and steps closer. He tells you to write a 3-line declaration on a scrap of paper. Line 1, I keep what is mine. Line 2, I release what is not. Line 3, I proceed. He says place that paper beneath your pillow tonight. The night will translate your decision to your nervous system. Morning will receive the message with fewer alarms. He tells you the one who cursed you rented attention that no longer exists. Without your gaze, their script loses ink. Let the page stay blank. He says comedy will return to your days in thin, bright threads. Let yourself laugh when the light trips the old shadow. Laughter is a broom that knows the corners. He tells you to inventory your obligations. Keep the ones that build you, renegotiate the ones that drain you. Your future is allergic to unnecessary leaks. He says your hands know how to build what your heart is finally asking for. Give them tools and a timetable. A plan is love translated into days. He tells you to choose a forward compass for the week. Begin clean. Aim true. Put it where your eyes land first. Repeat until the rhythm is natural. He says one quiet yes each morning outperforms 1,000 loud intentions abandoned by noon. Quiet yes are stones in a path. Walkable, reliable, real. He tells you to bless your workspace. A tidy corner is an ally that never gossips. Allies like that change outcomes. He says breathe into your lower lungs when the room tightens. Low breath is an anchor. Anchors ignore gossiping waves. He tells you to stop narrating your progress to people who prefer your confusion. You owe them silence and distance. You owe yourself the road. He says the cursor miscalculated your endurance. They trained for your hesitation, they did not train for your consistency. Consistency is weather that wears down every false wall. He tells you to thank your past for its survival skills and retire the ones that no longer fit. Survival got you here, stewardship gets you further. Stewardship is survival with strategy. He says choose a symbol for your protection today, a ring, a bracelet, a fold of cloth. When you touch it, you remember the line you drew. Memory becomes armor on contact. He tells you to practice a no-drama window for 30 minutes. During it, handle only things that move your life forward. Drama starves when you feed progress instead. He says when panic knocks, hand it a form. What is the next one action? One action dissolves a dozen imagined catastrophes. Catastrophes hate checkmarks. He tells you to leave one message unsent if it is only meant to prove a point. Let peace keep the last word. You are not obligated to attend every misunderstanding you're invited to. He says your attention is currency, spend it where there's compound interest. Skill, health, relationship, calling. These accounts grow while you sleep. He tells you to establish office hours with your fears. 15 minutes, same time daily, then a closed door. Fear behaves when it's put on a schedule. He says your future is conservative with its invitations and generous with its results. Show up to few things fully, not many things half. Full presence is how doors stop creaking and start swinging. He tells you to put your bare feet on the floor for 1 minute. Let gravity love you. The ground is better at holding you than your shoulders are. He says stop trying to convince the past to bless you. Bless yourself now and let the past overhear. It will correct itself in silence. He tells you to keep a proof of return list for 7 days. Write one line each night about what you reclaimed, a decision, a smile, a boundary. Small lines become a strong rope. He says imagine a bright cord from your chest to what matters most. Check the cord twice a day. If it's tangled in something petty, cut that snag and retie. He tells you to be generous with encouragement to those who are building, and surgical with access to those who are breaking. Your gate is wise now. Let it be. He says learn the weather of your energy. Don't promise 4 p.m. tasks to your 8 p.m. self. Match the right work to the right hours. He tells you the one who cursed you is running out of stage. The lights they used were borrowed from your attention. You took the plug with you. He says if a room requires you to shrink to stay, it is not your room. Leave gently and completely. Your future will open a better door down the hall. He tells you to practice deliberate slowness at the first sign of rush. Slow is not lazy, it's accurate. Accuracy protects you from rework disguised as urgency. He says your words are tools, sharpen them. Replace "I hope I can" with "I am doing." Replace "if it works" with "as it works." He tells you to rehearse a sentence for temptation. I don't trade my peace for cheap fireworks. Say it twice and the sparkler dies out. True light remains. He says your calendar is a vote. Each block says what you believe deserves tomorrow. Vote for your life, not your fear. He tells you to bless your sleep with 2 lines whispered at the edge of the pillow. I am kept. I am guided. Let the night do its work without your supervision. He says when grief arrives, clear a chair for it. Let it sit, speak, and leave. Doors respect guests who are treated with structured kindness. He tells you to set a tiny finish line before lunch. Crossing it will hum in your bones. Bones that hum keep good balance. He says clean one drawer. Excellence likes hiding places, it will move into the empty space. Soon the drawer will feel like a decision you can open. He tells you to collect new references for who you are. Find 3 people who live from clarity and learn 1 habit from each. Borrowed wisdom spends like cash. He says your future's soundtrack is quieter than your timeline suggests. Quiet does not mean empty. It means precision is speaking. He tells you to put your palm over your heart when old shame tries to narrate. Say, "Not my voice." The body obeys who it hears most. He says the middle of the bridge is the noisiest place. Don't mistake noise for danger. Keep walking until the wood underfoot sounds like completion. He tells you to forgive the version of you who stayed too long. Staying taught you the scent of wrong rooms. Now you can leave before the perfume lies. He says pick a number from the day and make it your signal to center. Every time you see it, relax your jaw and drop your shoulders. A relaxed jaw makes clearer choices. Clear choices steer the ship. He tells you not all resistance is a sign to stop, some is a sign to organize. Sort, stack, schedule. Watch difficulty become logistics. He says when a conversation demands that you abandon yourself to continue, choose yourself and end the talk. Love does not require self-erasure. You are not negotiable. He tells you to write 3 do not open labels for your mind: old blame, false obligations, second guessing. File them on site. Your attention is the clerk with final authority. He says your wisdom is now calibrated to long arcs. You are planting orchards, not chasing snacks. Orchards outlive weather. He tells you that money respects clarity. Price your time, count your yes, and refuse discounts on your dignity. Dignity compounds faster than interest rates. He says aim for useful beauty, spaces, sentences, systems that are both kind and efficient. Beauty that works keeps working. Working beauty heals. He tells you to walk outside and find a horizon, even a small one between buildings. Look until your breath lengthens by 1 count. Horizons teach lungs how to hope. He says the next right action will look almost ordinary. That's the sign. Miracles prefer plain clothes. He tells you to keep your humor in the toolbox. A gentle joke loosens stubborn bolts. Loosened bolts become easy doors. He says check your motives the way a pilot checks instruments. If attention-seeking blinks red, recalibrate to service. Service flies straighter. He tells you to schedule a maintenance Monday or finish Friday, 1 weekly block where you close open loops. Loops closed are leaks sealed. Sealed ships sail farther. He says the cursor tried to make your name a headline in their small paper. Your name belongs in the book you are writing. Keep turning pages. He tells you to practice leaving rooms without punishment. Just leave. Departure is a complete sentence. He says don't confuse access with intimacy. Admission is not adoption. Keep your thresholds curated. He tells you to celebrate a quiet milestone tonight. Pour tea, light a candle, name the win. Quiet celebrations teach your system to recognize success without chaos. He says your clarity will irritate those invested in your confusion. That irritation is not your emergency. Keep your pace. He tells you to befriend the checklist without becoming its prisoner. Lists are servants, not kings. Cross off and then go outside. He says the story you tell yourself about today should fit on a single line. Keep it generous and true. Long stories invite unnecessary drama. He tells you to give your future a small down payment right now, a page, a rep, a call. Down payments change how you belong to tomorrow. Tomorrow notices. He says when you feel alone, remember that partnership is already in the room, your breath, your spine, your decision. These are allies that don't cancel plans. Lean on them. He tells you to bless your thresholds again before sleep. Doors that are blessed open quietly. Quiet doors keep neighbors calm and enemies bored. He says the next morning will greet you like a colleague. Treat it with respect and clarity. It pays that respect back in opportunities. He tells you to stash a note in your pocket that says, "Proceed kindly." Kindness is not weakness, it is precision with warm hands. Warm hands build faster. He says you are reaching the altitude where old turbulence can't follow. Planes don't argue with clouds they outgrow. Neither will you. He tells you the one who cursed you is now busy with their own mirrors. You are busy with your windows. Windows matter more. He says your life is turning into a place where good people can rest beside you without being burned. That is leadership. It starts quietly and spreads. He tells you to finalize today with 3 closures, tidy one surface, send one thank you, set tomorrow's first step. Closures tuck the day in. Tucked days sleep well. He says to remember the simplest command, continue, but cleaner. Clean beats fast. Clean lasts. He tells you that everything you need for the next turn is already in the room, breath, body, boundary, belief. Arrange them like 4 corners. A room with true corners holds. He says he will keep walking one step behind you like shade on a faithful afternoon. When you need thunder, he will thunder. When you need silence, he will stand watch. Go on. This road knows your name, and it is bright enough for both of you.